what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, so let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Quando Rondo, man. Now, Quando Rondo has been relatively quiet because it seems like he's in album mode. But recently, he took to social media to flex and show that he was in the process of shooting a music video. Now, this music video is obviously going back to the streets because he's showing nothing but the guns, as you see here. He's showing nothing but the goons. I mean, you see Quando Rondo with a full rag on his head. I mean, it's no hiding what he's trying to put out there. Now, Quando Rondo has been quiet, like I said. But, man, it seems like ever since the thing went down in Macon, he said, forget it, man. He can't make any other type of money out here doing shows. So he might as well get to what he knows, and that's making music and trying to make hits. Now, today we're going to talk about his options and where we see his career going today. Because after all the things that took place in 2020, man, going into 2021, Quando Rondo's career is at one of the weirdest places I have ever seen in hip-hop. Now, before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. All right, now that we got that out of the way, so let's talk about Quando Rondo today. So Quando Rondo resurfaced, man. Slowly but surely, he's been putting videos out there and stuff out there to let us know that he's still active in the music game. Now, the last time we really heard big news about Quando Rondo was when he had that show in Macon. Now, for those of you who don't know, or you've been living under a rock or something, Quando Rondo is an artist from Savannah, man. He became famous because of all the tragedy that took place with King Von. He was at the heart of that situation. The guy who's allegedly, up for trial for murdering King Von is his homeboy. I try to tread lightly on that. I hate to accuse somebody or say they're accused, even though the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has already closed the case on this one, and he's still awaiting trial, right? So Lil Tim is his best homeboy. Now, Quando Rondo has had a tough time since this situation. I mean, to be honest, he's probably had the worst time out of anybody. I mean, NBA YoungBoy's been successful after this. Lil Durk has been successful after this. But Quando Rondo, man, he's in a tough spot, man. He hasn't been able to book any shows. He hasn't been able to do anything, man. So it looks like he's trying to get back in the game and make sure that he doesn't lose his position in the rap game. Now, to be honest, Quando Rondo was always in the building stage of his career since we've known him. Like, 2020, he was still building himself as an artist. He was still building his career. To be honest, he was just like one of those NBA YoungBoy kind of type of artists who ended up clicking up with 4K Trey. And then we were like, okay, now he's got a little credit behind him. Now he's got a little bit of movement behind him. But it seems like, man, Quando Rondo has been running into hurdles ever since that horrible situation back in November. Now, going into 2021, what are his options? We really got to think about this logically because Quando Rondo definitely wants to continue being an artist because he's super duper young in this game. I mean, he's just at the beginning stage of his career, like I said. So who in the world wants to fall off and have to go back to just working regular and doing regular, especially with the heat, the ops, and all the situation that he got going on? He got to make money. It's got to come in. So what are his options? Now, one, I think he might need to go on a media tour. That might need to be in what he's doing, man. I'm sure he's gearing up, making sure that he's making the hottest music he could possible, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I definitely think that Quando Rondo probably needs to meet this head on and go out and tell his side of the story and probably get some listeners and some folks on his side in this situation because somehow he came away looking like the bad guy. And to be honest, he wasn't the one who actually pulled the trigger. So to make him the bad guy might be a little preemptive on the striking. You know what I mean? I think that Quando Rondo found himself in a situation where he couldn't end up being the good guy or the bad guy no matter what the outcome was. So, I mean, in this situation, being the bad guy, it might not be that bad. But to be honest, even when he went live, man, you saw a lot of people who were commenting about the situation that took place, and they weren't saying anything favorable about Quando Rondo. Now, when it comes to going on a media tour, it's tricky, man, because you don't know who and what the audience is going to feel like on your reaction and your talking, but it's just a suggestion. I mean, it's tough, especially if you're a street artist, because if you go on a major publication and talk about this stuff, you know what happens? They twist your words. you come off looking crazy because some square person is asking you these questions, and some square people who are at home and don't know anything about anything street or even anything about street hip hop are just judging you from their frame. So it could be damaging as well. So man, he should probably meet up with like a hip hop media outlet and talk to them, I would think, man. And that might help him out. You see what I'm saying? Now, his second option in my book would be to make the most fire music he could possible. For some reason, that has been the saving grace for anybody who's gotten in any trouble. Like when they're at the height of their career and they're really making their best music, a lot of artists have gotten in trouble and gotten into things, and their music is what saved them, man. Their music is what made their career last. Their music is what fans gravitated to. So Quando Rondo, if you're listening, you need to be in the studio cooking up the best story you ever wrote, the best music you ever came up with. Because if you drop anything, I mean one track, I mean anything that's straight boo-boo, it's going to hit that many times worse, man. People are going to be like, okay, we don't like him, and he just dropped some boo-boo, man. We ain't messing with this dude, and it's over. And that goes for anybody in any situation. I mean, as an artist, you should always strive to do the best and make the best music. But, man, to be honest, dropping some heat is what's going to have to save your career, man. I mean, it's what makes your career, period. But dropping something that ain't fire is really going to hurt you in this point right now. Finally, what I think, man, Quando Rondo probably needs to distance himself from this situation. He keeps running back to things that'll make people remember what went down and make him look like the bad guy. When actually, man, to be honest, Quando Rondo really is not the bad guy in this situation. Now, his actions after the situation took place made him the bad guy. Like, he put himself in that category. And don't get me wrong. Hip hop loves a bad guy. We love the bad guy, man. We love the street dude. We love the cats who are in the field. We love that, right? But in this situation, when it's so cut and dry, good and bad, you know, are the lines that are drawn, people are definitely not going to like you or mess with your music, man. So you got to distance yourself from this situation and stay away from all the drama, man. Quit bringing it up. Quit bringing up things that pull people closer to it. And I would never tell anybody not to associate with their homeboy. I'm not talking about the fact that he posts pictures of Lil Tim and all that. That is what it is, man. But he's got to find himself in some distance from this situation. Instead of trying to play into it and be like, oh, man, they're going to see how gangster I am if I show all these guns and all these goons and show them I'm not scared. And that way I win the fans back. And I just don't think that's an accurate way of doing this, man. Now, who am I? I'm just some guy on a vlog who talks about hip-hop and rappers all the time, but I am a hip-hop fan, and I do look at things from that perspective that's pretty much objective, you know, in anything that I'm talking about. I try to be completely fair, man, and I think distancing himself from this and dropping fire music and then talking to, like, some hip-hop outlets, man, he could probably get himself back into running and into contention for being a premier artist in the game. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big. What do you guys think? Do you think my assessment is off? Do you think that Quando Rondo is out of here, like out of here in a bad way, like it's done for him? Or do you feel that, man, if he does a couple of things right, maybe even the 3 things that I talked about, dude will be all right in this game? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And, man, make sure you hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.